Hello, everybody. Welcome to an episode of Analytics Mindset. In this episode, I will go over the Microsoft Applied Skills Secure AI solutions in the cloud. This is actually a way newer certification at Microsoft aimed for how to defend and configure the cloud in a way that you can actually take advantage of its capabilities, primarily Microsoft Defender and Microsoft SDR and Purview with AI. Generative AI solutions. For some comparison, Google has a very similar approach in Vertex AI. That is something that we will see later. But Microsoft obviously has Azure and Microsoft Foundry. And we will go very deeply into that in this video. As you can see, I got this certification on the 26th. It is March by the time I'm recording this video, but you can see here that I passed the credential. It is an intermediate credential. It is a lot harder than the beginning credentials, even for applied skills. And for some additional context, applied skills are a shorter certification. It is open book. You can look at everything. Credentials are not open book. Therefore, you actually need to do it in a proctored environment. But this credential is applied skills is a mini lab of 45 minutes. The only intermediate one I saw that is 45 minutes. The other ones are 2 hours. And it's free. That's the best advantage. As you will see, it's very focused on Microsoft Defender for Cloud and Microsoft Foundry. And the main focus is cloud security. And that has you as an administrator security engineer. Why did I take this certification? It is not as related to analytics as other things, but I do feel that it's still very valuable because as analysts particularly, you always need to take care of where your data resides, who has access to your data, how you trading your data, where is your data going, and all those factors. That is something very important for data security and how can you share your reports. This is just an extension of that. Instead of reports, AI, GenAI solutions. Who can access your chatbots? What can your chatbot set as an input? What can your chatbot set as an output? It is very important as GenAI solutions are becoming more and more familiar and mainstream around us. Now, something else is that the AI landscape is changing so much that just take this with a grain of salt. This course may be awfully different. It literally came out not so long, like a month ago, and it's probably going to change a lot by the time that maybe you see this 3 months from now, 4 months from now. The concept still stands still. Microsoft has a very robust suite in Azure to protect your data, and particularly speaking, AI solutions through Fabric. Now, going really quickly through this, you see that you have a 2 hours and 42 learning path with 4 modules. You do not need to pay for anything. Both the exam and the learning are free. That's a big advantage for this. If you take this exam and you do not pass it, or like me, you just press start and you don't realize that you are doing the wrong certification, you're going to need to wait 3 days to launch it again. That's something that might be important for you if you do not realize that. And these are the 3 things that are actually evaluated that you will need to actually do during the exam, set up, refer to documentation, etc. And I did miss a little bit in the configuration. I do not remember where exactly. I thought I did it correctly, but the Chrome against time is real, especially the 45-minute window, because it's not really 45 minutes. It is in a virtual machine. Therefore, you need to actually wait for the screen to load. You need to wait for that. You need to wait for this. Sometimes Azure will also be hanging out a little bit. It's not the best virtual machine ever. Take that into account. It can be very slow. Now, into the actual material. You will see that you have new security challenges that traditional cloud tools do not address. One of them is how do you protect AI assets? That's part of it. The second one is AI workloads and CSPM, Cloud Security Posture Management. How do you configure and remediate these misconfigurations? And there is a very big factor on CSPM particularly. Asset discovery. How do we document our assets? How do we make sure that we have them available in the cloud or at least map? And that way it becomes 10 times easier to identify misconfigurations. If you do not have those cloud posture management and workload plan, it's just a lot harder to do that. Cloud workload protection can detect things during runtime that maybe target your AI components, like injections, for example. And then Microsoft XDR obviously has security alerts. It has a comprehensive policy there that you can actually also configure. You will need to be somewhat familiar with Azure. I do recommend you to at least play around with it a little bit. They have a lot of learning and student accounts that you can do for free. If your organization uses Azure, 10 times better. If you're actually an Azure engineer, well, 100 times better. But for most of us that are not, they have a free Azure environment that you can use. And you will need some basic cloud security principles. It's always good to just go back into it and look at it. But going really quickly into the material, the main parts of this, and again, I won't go that much into detail because configuration can change, and I mean, can change in 3 weeks from now. Azure is very, very famous for changing the order of settings all the time. But I will show you the concepts. How do you support with Microsoft Defender for Cloud AI security and governance? Well, you first need to understand what are the AI security risks. That is a big part here. These are the main three for AI security risks. These are specific for AI. They are not for other data assets, though they can apply, but they are specific for AI. One of them is prompt injection. You can literally say the model, tell me the net worth of our CEO, the salary of our executives. And if you don't configure well your AI, and it's an AI that happens to be used by HR, you may have that being generated, and you don't want that. The other one is data leakage, when all the sensitive information might be revealed, either not necessarily in the outputs, but it could also be in the logs, cache prompts, or evaluation data sets. There is multiple ways that can happen, and the difference is that prompt injection is intentional. You're trying to get the model for you to give you some stuff in, while the data leakage is, well, I have this data, might as well use it. Model abuse and misuse. That's a lot of harmful content. Microsoft has a lot of guardrails on what should be generated and what should not be generated, but you still are responsible as the business user of Microsoft to decide what is good enough for you, what is not good enough for you, what sensitivity it should be. And all of these things are because GenAI solutions are stochastic, they will generate stuff in very different ways, even if you're doing it the same way with the same prompt. You can never truly secure them. There is always that little uncertain risk that given enough times you will generate whatever opponent wants. But we can get close enough. Azure AI search is very important for retrieval, but you can also for being integrated into applications and OpenAI. But you can retrieve things like untrusted documents, or you can get indirect prompt injection, where things are injected into your chatbot, and then suddenly your chatbot is doing things that it's not supposed to do. Then you also have when you're exposed to a public API, that's something very important too, that you could target generate abusive or fraudulent content. So yeah, you need to put guardrails, that's the next part we're going to see later on, and threat modeling for AI workloads with model behavior and data exposure policy. Now, how we actually protect AI workloads though? With Microsoft Defender for Cloud and CSPM, you will also have the workload protection, and you can investigate incidents with Microsoft Defender XDR. XDR particularly is a tool that helps you group by incidents. I have all these incidents, they look similar. XDR can do that for you and tell you this is misconfiguration that you need to fix. On the other hand, you also have how to enable the workload plan. That's how you can actually go into your AI workloads and assess what needs to be improved or not. With CSPM, you want to actually do this the design for cloud, defined for cloud life cycle coverage. You have the cloud of security, cloud security posture, and cloud threat protection. And you can go into the three of these a lot deeper if you want to. Um, CSPM, once enabled, will build you a AI bill of materials. As I said before, it will literally just map every single thing you have and investigate risk and path attacks. This is a very nice feature of Microsoft. You can actually see what is your model asking, where is it coming from, what servers are using, what identities are using through Entra, what storage account, what virtual machines, what databases, and all of that will be related and say, okay, this is not configured properly. This virtual machine is internet exposed, therefore it's a single point of failure for the whole system. And you also have the recommendations that can vary. What are guardrails? Guardrails are a very new feature to AI generation in Microsoft particularly that allows you to basically say, do not generate this or do not input this. Here you have a couple of examples. Moderate text content. You can have also groundless detection, even though that's still in preview. Protected material detection for text. If you don't want your model to use trademark stuff and then get the risk of litigation, you can do that. Prompt shields are good too. And protect material detection for code. There's also filter image content and customize your own content filter, but again, it is very, very early yet for it to be a lot comprehensive on that. And you can also do it in both input and output. Input in what the model is taking and output in what the model generates. That is a big flexibility. Self-harm or hateful behavior is also moderated. And the last one is secure Microsoft Foundry environments. This goes a lot more into Entra and project roles, integrating keyboard, and I won't go in detail on it. But basically, you can use Azure's infrastructure, private link, private endpoints, so your data, by consequence, your own security, your own AI models are not going through the public network. And there is other reasons why. And there is like the public network is so unsecure and you have so many people that could intercept you. When you are one person making no money from the side, it's really not a big deal. But when you are a corporation making hundreds of thousands or even millions or billions of dollars, it is worth it to check that because there is a ton of information that shouldn't be running through the public internet. So you can create a key vault for secret management. You can authorize certain people to use Microsoft Entra ID through your Microsoft Foundry environment. Virtual networks and private link allow you to use it without the internet. You don't need the internet. It is just from your Metal to Microsoft Metal to the Azure backbone somewhere else. And that allows a lot with security. And finally, diagnostic logging allows you to actually keep records of things. You can see who logged in here, what did the model generated, was there any trigger alert, all those things allow you to trace back and see this is what happened. And with Microsoft XDR correlation will help you identifying we need this, we need to do this, or we may need to change this setting as well. But all right, that is pretty much for this certification. As I said before, don't focus that much on the actual settings. That comes naturally. Focus more on the context, on the concepts too. As we keep evolving, we keep having AI evolving and how AI will become more and more advanced. Security is going to increase for sure. And that is an area for sure there. But as always, if you like this video, please, Sam, give me a like, a comment, or just tell me what you feel about this. Have a good day.